All right, back with our power panel, Martina Navratilova, who battled insults and stereotypes throughout her legendary tennis career, at the center of an LGBTQ firestorm tonight. Our power panel graciously sticking around for this. So welcome back to all of you. I'll read a little bit from an op-ed that Navratilova wrote. She said, "A man can decide to be female, take hormones if required by whatever sporting organization is concerned, win everything in sight and perhaps earn a small fortune, and then reverse his decision and go back to making babies if he so desires. It's insane and it's cheating. I'm happy to address a transgender woman in whatever form she prefers, but I would not be happy to compete against her. It wouldn't be fair, David."
I mean, I think she lays the case out pretty well. How you identify in your gender, I think, is becoming more accepted in society. But frankly, this is about having a different body. Males and females have different bodies. And frankly, the U.S. Olympic Committee has standards about testosterone levels. And if you're a trans man, it doesn't matter. But if you're a trans woman, to compete, you have to be below a certain testosterone level, because that has impact on the strength that you have to compete. She is obviously suffering the backlash, but I think if anyone was able to bring the case to the public, it is her with credibility.
Yeah, and she had been with this group, Athlete Ally, and they issued a statement saying this: "The LGBTQ community is not a monolith. We must always leave space to learn from one another and to grow. If we fail to do so, we are not only failing our goal to advance LGBTQ equality as a whole, but failing to live up to the core of our potential as human beings who believe all of us deserve a place in sports and in this world." And Leslie, a number of these groups are breaking ties with her or disavowing her position after she was pretty much a pioneer and out there as one of the early advocates for a lot of these LGBT issues.
And I think that's why so many people were surprised that she, of all people, was the one that said this and said what she did. Especially, David, thank you, because that's a point that I was going to make, which actually would assuage any fears that she or other athletes have about a trans woman because of the testosterone level and because of the rules in these professional sports. I understand what she was saying. I know a lot of people have that concern in the athletic world and the athletic community, but because it is her and because there is such a sensitivity and more acceptance and a zero tolerance toward negativity in the LGBTQ world, I'm not surprised at the backlash, and I was very surprised that she said what she did, being her.
All right. I believe this is from the New York Post. The title of the article, "The Insane Gay Backlash Against Martina Navratilova," saying this: "Even with hormone treatment, transgender women have more muscle mass and bone density and higher levels of oxygen-carrying red blood cells, which aid athletic ability. That's a real issue, especially at the high school and college levels where students are also competing for scholarships." So now this longtime gay icon is being ostracized for her heterodoxy by those she so vigorously championed when it was professionally risky. For shame. Guy.
Yeah, so she was a trailblazer, and she is making a case. She said something like this a while ago and came under fire. She went back, did more research, and came out swinging again, saying, "I believe even more that this is the case." And there's some of the science behind this. It's not just hormones. It's not just testosterone. There are questions about muscle mass and other advantages that a biological male might have. And I think there's a lot of Americans, increasing number of Americans, who want to fully respect the dignity of trans individuals, treat them with respect, treat them with the pronouns that they would prefer, and all of that. And you can respect that. There is a separate question when it comes to athletic competition. What is fair? What is not fair? And I think that the types of questions that are raised by this tennis star in the LGBT community, she should not be shunned and thrown out of the community because she's raising completely reasonable, legitimate questions that ought to be discussed and debated. And the answer should not be, "You shut up, go away." The answer should be, actually, let's have this conversation.
All right. Guy, David, and Leslie, thank you for having the conversation with us. Great to have you.
Thank you.